Welcome to Beacon and thanks for choosing mine. Today I want to show you a deck I built. I think it's Baba Lysaga, but I like to call her
Baba Yaga.
and I call the deck Mr. Wick. If you don't know the connection to that, well, I suggest you go watch the John Wick movies. Anyways, I built this deck in paper and I had been having a lot of problems with it, so I've been tinkering with it on MTGO
It's a matter of focus,
just so I could work out all the kinks.
commitment,
And I think I finally worked out how to best build this deck
sheer will.
and pilot it.
Something you know very little about.
Originally, I was trying to make it so it was an artifact creature deck to make the odds of me having 3 permanents, or at least 3 different permanent types in play, much easier. And it felt like it was a lot of work to do that, even if I made the deck 50% artifact creatures. And plus, the deck was kind of like waning in power. I couldn't really keep up with anybody. Wasn't really closing out games. So anyways, the way I fixed that is I made it a land deck focused around things like Blinkmoth Nexus, Inkmoth Nexus, and Mishra's Factory. And the whole goal of the deck is to find one of these 3 lands, get them into play, and animate them. The cool thing about these 3 lands is they count as all 3 permanents on 1 permanent. So I could sack one of them and get the effect and draw 3 cards, gain 3 life, and make everyone lose 3 life. It's pretty sweet, and it comes at the cost of 1 mana. So you can't beat the return rate of that. Not even when I was doing the artifact creature strategy and with coupons or whatever. It just wasn't as effective. With that being said, there is still some assembly required. It kind of sucks that it has like a slow build-up, kind of like the action movies. It just gets crazier as the movie goes on, and it has that kind of a snowball effect. Basically, goal 1, find one of these 3 lands. Goal 2, get a way to play those lands from my graveyard. So I rely on Crucible Worlds, I rely on Enris, Scaretiller, and Brambinap Excavator to get one of those 3 lands back out of my graveyard into play to do it again. Once I have step 2 complete, then it's time for, I guess, making multiple land drops. So I rely on stuff like Exploration, then Dryad of the Lycian Grove, Azusa, and Wayward Sawtooth. So I could play the land that I just sacrificed multiple times from my graveyard. And then that's step 3. Step 4 is making it so I could untap my Baba Yaga and sacking that same land again. So I have 1000-Year Elixir, Mage-Right Stone, Tyvar Jubilant Brawler, and I thought there was one more. Patriarch Seal. So after I accomplish step 4, the snowball is in full tumble, and there's very little you could do to stop me at that point. There's just incidental value, like in the deck, peppered in here, like Feel of the Dead. And once I have like a full grip of cards, I could start netting land drops with Burgeoning, because I'll have like 12 cards in hand, and most of the time I'll have way more than 2 lands in there, so I get to just keep up with the mana production and then outpace everyone else. So let's play a game. I'll show you how it plays out. See if we could find a lobby of 4 people. If not, I'll just make a lobby. The reason why I would say this is an 8 or a 9 is because, again, the assembly required piece, and it's fairly easy to like break up my setup. I wouldn't say it's any less than that because it's highly synergistic. I wouldn't say it's EDH because I'm doing a gimmick of looping a land. I have limitations. The max number of times I could loop a land out of my graveyard is 5 times, so I can max activate it per 6. That's the ceiling of the deck. Wow, this is a good hand. Exploration. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got Niv-Mizzet, we got Tayam, Tayam, and we got Freyalise. Ooh, it'll still be a good game to test my metal. These decks are, at least the Niv-Mizzet and the Tayam I know are particularly powerful. Pretty excited. I got the Blink Moth Nexus, so step 1 is complete. Now step 2 is finding a way to loop it from my graveyard. So I guess I could go over game plans with people. I know a little bit about all these decks, so Tayam is all about putting counters on your permanents. It reaches critical mass when you could repeatedly hit 3 counters. So like, if you could do 3 counters and make 3 mana, you have an infinite loop on your hands. And like, people do this with things like Kitchen Finks and a sack outlet, and then they usually have like Devoted Druid in play or something wild like that, and a haste enabler like Concordant Crossroads. Get my commander in play. Niv-Mizzet is just a storm deck. They're gonna win with things like Grape Shot and Brain Freeze. The other 50% of the deck either cantrips or is a spell that pays for itself, like Pyretic Ritual kind of effects. The Freyalise deck, it's probably just an elf ball deck of some kind. If I manage to find another land, I can Green Sun Zenith for Ramunek Excavator, but I can't do everything, which kind of sucks. I can't animate this. I guess I can. I animate this first. I sack it to Baba Yaga, and then I bring it back. No, I can't, because I need the tutor for it first. Well, in either case, it's still the better thing to just draw some cards, see what happens. Oh, well, I guess I'm kind of not punished, because I drew 2 lands, or another land rather, so now I can safer stuff. I can play Tireless, get Treasure Baby. Does anything need to die yet? No. I love Mortality Sphere in this deck. I could leave up the mana just in case someone plays something and keep the tempo up. I could play Ichor Wellspring, but I don't really need to. Whatever I draw from Ichor Wellspring, I can't play anyways, so I'll just keep the mana up and respond with Infernal Grasp if I have to. That's kind of a cool card. Disincentivizes you from filling their hand, which these decks want to do. They want to have a full grip, plus then some. So, and also when you're playing Storm, people know you're playing Storm, and they're going to be trying to kill you. You're pretty telegraphed when you're playing Niv-Mizzet. I think Baba Yaga just kind of flies under the radar, like, cool, you get to draw 3 cards, but you have to sacrifice up to 3 permanent types. It's not easy to do. It's not like people don't expect you to be able to do it multiple times a turn. This guy asked, should you run snow-covered basic lands by default? And I said yeah, because you don't want to get duped by Extraplanar Lens. For those of you who don't know what Extraplanar Lens is it enters the battlefield as a 3-drop artifact, and you imprint a land you control. And once it's imprinted, every land that shares the same name as that type produces an additional mana of that kind. So, and it's not a one-sided effect, but if you imprint a snow basic, it can be, because you might get people by them not playing snow-covered lands. So like, that's why I run snow-covered lands, so I don't get screwed over on that. The only thing that hates on snow-covered lands is that 3-drop Angel. Okay, so it's back to my turn. I'm gonna tutor for Ramming up Excavator. Goal number 2 accomplished. Look at that synergy go, baby. Ooh, I got a Patriarch Seal, so that's handy. I need more mana though to activate it. Oh yeah, I bring back this land to make another treasure. Oh, this is sweet. Okay. So let's play the seal. I want to activate the ability. Okay, I have 7 cards in hand. I don't need to do anything else. I think I'm just going to go to combat. I'll just swing it over at this guy. I don't want to swing it at the Storm player because I don't want to fill his hand up with cards. I think it's dangerous giving him more cards. I'll just drain him out. That'll be my plan of beating him. And the reason why I didn't activate Lysaga now is because I'm out of mana, and I want to kind of dodge graveyard hate spells. Most of them are sorcery speed, so keeping my land out of the graveyard is nice. And then number 2 is I don't want to discard down to hand size because I'm already maxed out at 7. I'm about to draw another 3, and if I just do it on any of these guys' turns, I don't have to discard the cards that I see. Oh, I forgot to activate. Shoot. That was a waste. Well, if I lose by 3 life, I'll know why. Let's see what's in my deck. I can get a Zusa and really go to town. I guess I need a... I need a Reliquary Tower so I don't lose all these sweet cards I have. It's not really necessary to get a Reliquary Tower. It's just a kind of a quality of life kind of a thing. I guess I could Scape Shift. That would probably be pretty insane. It's probably like the max thing I could do right now. Yeah, let's do Scape Shift. I'm gonna get a couple of lands off this. Now I could get Field of the Dead. I get Reliquary Tower. I could get a Gaia's Cradle. Why not? I'll get a... What's the... Oh, I have a Urborg in my hand. That would have been ideal. Oh well. Let's just get all the utility out now. Strip mine and let's do a Nurturing Peatland. We want more card draw, I'm sure, just in case. I think I'll just take away this sorcery class on his turn. Or I could do it now while his mana's down. Kind of like that too. I don't want him to interact with me at all. Let's just do it now. Let's be done with that. And we'll keep Tayam out of this game by being a pill here. I don't really really have any artifacts or enchantments worth losing right now, so maybe I'll just swing into the player, not the planeswalker. I guess I take away the planeswalker, I take away options for him, so let's just hit the planeswalker. They'll die in due time. Ooh, a new alpha investment video. Sometimes I like Rudy, sometimes I don't. He's kind of like he's like the TMZ of the Magic world. Very litigious, as they said in that the Johnny Depp trials. This guy that's playing the Elf Ball deck is making requests, so he's not targeted. He wants to keep his Freyalise along in exchange for dealing with my board. If I get another tutor, I'm definitely gonna get an Azusa, or at least try to draw into one. I guess I have to manually click through these things because I do have an Entomb, but I normally only ever use Entomb for putting a land in my graveyard so I could get it with Ramnip or the Crucible Worlds, and I don't really have a use for this for anything else. I don't really recur anything but lands from my graveyard. So maybe I can just yield through the turn. It's not a big deal. Yeah, we'll just yield through the turn. I don't need to. I got no. If I had 2 mana, then I could see the reason to do what I'm doing. I think I'm partial to group slug decks, and this is probably one of the funner group slug decks I've built in a long time. I love them because I don't feel guilty for killing anybody over another person. It's nice because I get to be guilt-free. I get to kill everybody at the same time, and there's no hard feelings. That's probably why I like group slug decks. Playing Voltron, I like it. It's just I usually make people angry when I play that because my threat assessment is spot on. I never make a mistake in who I target when I'm playing a game, and people can, you know, complain and moan all they want, but that's just the reality, baby. I know what you're getting at. I think this turn I will loop the Inkmoth Nexus and play Urborg just so I could get the Field of Ruins online. Or I could be a real jerk and start strip mining people to death and really put the Tayam player and the Niv-Mizzet player at a disadvantage. I kind of like that more because I kind of like strip mining because it's just safer. It's guaranteed to be a pain for these guys to do anything. And they're the 2 multicolored decks that pose the biggest threats. So I think taking away a land from each of them is fair. And I could play some spells from my hand. I could play the Icor, I could play Sign in Blood. I could find other things to sacrifice with Baba Lysaga other than the Blink Moth. And I have Nurturing Peatland to see cards. It's not the end of the world. Okay. Let's see. I don't really need the tokens. Who really cares? They're not gonna do anything to me. The Field of the Ruin, the Field of the Dead Play can wait. I got plenty of action here to do whatever. This guy's like, I don't play with mass land destruction. No, it's just land destruction, baby. 3, 4, 5. He's one land away. We'll just take away another red-blue source. Keep him really far away from casting Niv-Mizzet and blowing up my board. Okay. Let's sacrifice these. Let's draw 2 cards. Ooh, Demonic Tutor. Now I get Azusa. And do it some more! Look at that. And there you go, folks. Got to show you how the deck performs. I hope you liked it. It's one of my new favorite decks. What I was running to when I did the artifact creature strategy is I didn't have enough mana to stretch my turn out and to cast more artifacts as more fodder for Baba Yaga. And the land route is just, it's too efficient to ignore. And the guy, Birdo, he's pretty solid. He's not upset about it because he has a Strip Mine Loop in his deck too. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.